And now we're moving on to cover some ad insights sponsored by Audio Mob. I hope that your food comas have now all gone. You're all energized and really excited for this final part of the track, yes? Look at your faces! Oh my God, I can't believe it. I've never seen more excited people in my whole life. Now we're going to talk about remove ads messaging, how to use ads to drive IAPs and subscriptions with Felix Braberg, who's from 2.5 Gamers. Give it up for Felix, please!
Thank you for that warm introduction. So,
this is the new Xbox Series S from Currys.
What's up, baby? That's not mine. Hi, everyone. I guess I'm here to close out the stage today. I'm here to talk about something that I think is actually quite interesting. There's not a lot of things that happen in mobile gaming, but right now there's actually some innovation happening, and I'm here to talk about that. And that is, of course, how to use ads to actually drive IAPs and subscriptions. But before getting started with that, there's one big meta trend that I'm seeing happening this year, and that is that this year, 2025, will be the year of the app. And what do I mean by that? Traditionally, everyone knows that mobile gaming has been leading innovation. Whatever happens in mobile games trickles down to apps and then basically to the wider community. But this is the first year where I'm starting to see app developers and the design choices that they're making in their apps actually leading and pushing what's happening in mobile gaming. So mobile gaming companies are copying app companies. So that's a lot of a trend that we're going to talk about today, but a little bit about me. I'm Felix. I've been in industry for 8 years. I worked in 2 DSPs. Loic is here from one of them I worked in. I worked in an ad network that was accused of doing the biggest fraud scandal in the world. I'll let you look up which network it is, but anyway. So right now, I'm a consultant. I've been working with about 35 mobile games and apps. Altogether, they have earned $350 million in ad revenue, and that's how I learned. I also am one of the co-hosts on 2.5 Gamers, where I am with Jakub and Maciej. Jakub, unfortunately, is having a baby, so he's not here. And Maciej, unfortunately, is in the Maldives. So, yeah, pretty good life, right? Anyway, so, enough about that. But this is what I want to talk to you about. So first, I want to talk about some publisher trends, what's enabling essentially these changes on the remove ads messaging side, ad quality, and how the reduction in ad quality is actually enabling you to do a lot more creative things with remove ads messaging. And then I'm going to show you the most, 3 biggest examples of what I think is driving a lot of IAPs and subscriptions from just showing how annoying ads can be. So, let's start. So, in the last 30 days, these are the gaming companies that have gotten the most downloads. So you can see here, there's the kind of publishers that you'd expect. You have Azure, Seagain, Supersonic. It's 96 million downloads in the last 30 days. That's crazy amounts, right? So these are the hybrid casual games. I took out the mega cap social gaming companies. So basically, the top list in terms of downloads is still absolutely dominated by gaming. But what's starting to happen is that on the 40th and 50th place in terms of downloads, you're starting to get this. And what is this? This is app companies. That is to say, companies that make apps and that utilize mainly subscriptions are now finally starting to be in the top 50 in terms of overall downloads. And what does that mean? When you have a lot of downloads, you can also monetize a lot of users with ads, because the key to having ad revenue is you need to have a lot of users that watch a lot of ads. So, these companies are good at a couple of things, and one of them is A/B testing. So they do a lot of A/B testing, particularly on pricing. And that's kind of what's driving one of these changes as well. But also, I need to mention before that something about ad quality. Everyone here works in mobile, right? So everyone has opened a mobile app or a mobile game in the last year. You know that ad quality is getting worse. What I mean by worse is that ads are getting longer and it's getting harder to click out of. So ads are getting a worse and worse reps because basically these companies have realized they can increase their margins by having longer and more difficult to click out of ads. When I started in the industry, a rewarded ad was 30 seconds. Now the most aggressive end card, I think on AppLovin, is 114 14 seconds for rewarded ads. So it's getting longer. Banners also, the refresh rate used to be 30 seconds, now it's down to 5 seconds. And yeah, that's causing a lot of retention drop, right? So here also is a list of 6 months ago this is the largest by volume networks on AppLovin Max. And essentially, I took the liberty of highlighting the only company up until 6 months ago that did not have long rewarded ads or intrusive end cards. This is the same list now. So all major networks on mobile now have longer ads, intrusive end cards, and worse, basically, user experience, because essentially the margins increase. So those two things, we have app companies that are starting to get into the download charts, making money on ads. Ads are getting longer, and no company in this industry is not having longer and longer ads. So let's take a look at an example. So this is the highly lucrative and highly interesting and highly new brain training app market. So basically it's a market that sits kind of at the intersection between what is a game and what is an app, right? So this market has made about $300 million, and you can see lately it's really starting to accelerate in terms of revenues, right? And this market is dominated by 2 apps or games, depending how you look at them. And that is one, Impulse, and the other one is called Elevate. So how these apps or games, whatever you want to call them, how they actually work, is that you every day have to do 3 exercises that is said to improve cognitive ability and your IQ. So if you've seen these ads where you see Albert Einstein ads, this is always one of these 2 apps, right? So users every day are encouraged to go inside the app, do 3 brain training exercises, and if they want to stay in the app longer than that, they're encouraged to do some games that improve cognitive ability. These games look a lot like hyper-casual games. But I'm not here to judge. So we're going to do a game. So this is the retention profiles of these 2 apps, Elevate and Impulse. One of these apps also monetizes with interstitials, rewarded and banner ads, and one of these apps does not have ads at all. So put your hands up if you think it's Elevate that has no ads in the app. Okay. No ads, okay. And put your hands up if you think that's Impulse that has no ads in it. All right. Actually, no. So Impulse is the app that actually has ads in it, but what you look at here is quite interesting, right? Because the retention profiles are very similar, and everyone knows that retention tends to go down when you have intrusive ads like interstitials. So let's look back 18 months on the same retention profiles of the same apps. So you can see here that Impulse, instead of having day 27 retention, or day 1 retention of 27%, it has 19. So that's when they added ads, all right? So long ads ruin your retention profile, right? So what happened between 18 months and that? They basically started experimenting with the first trend that I'm seeing, which is remove ads, push notifications. So during the first time user experience in Impulse, what happens is after the first interstitial ads, every user is shown this message, which says, ads are skippable after 5 to 15 seconds. But don't worry, we need this to help further our app development. These are the signs that you should look out for to essentially close the ads. So if you think about what's happening here is, usually when you have a user, it's usually a user versus the developer. But what's happening here is Impulse is actually creating a third party. So basically, instead of being the user and the developer, it's also now the ad network. So they're starting to shift the blame away from themselves about the annoying ads. Second interstitial that users are shown in the first time user experience in Impulse is, do you know you can actually play without ads if you become a premium user? Very clever. Third interstitial that's shown to first-time user experience is actually they show you the remove ads button that's there all the time, and don't worry, you can go and remove ads whenever you want. So the fourth interstitial that's shown to users are actually presented with a double choice, which we'll get into a bit more later, where essentially they're faced with 2 numbers. that they can choose either a 3-day trial, and then after that it's $6.99 a week, or a lifetime removing ads for 44 euros. This is exactly what app companies do extremely well, right? Then, the fifth interstitial, do you just want to remove ads for this type of behavior, for only this, without becoming a premium subscriber? So, moving forward. So, what they're actually doing is they're addressing kind of the immediate attention and basically having an emotional impact to separate the developer, which is usually always associated with bad ads, and they're actually saying, hey, there's also a network that's doing this, but don't worry, I'm on the user side, I'm helping you to show you how to click out of these ads, right? So, the second thing that I'm also seeing happen, which is also being driven by mobile app companies, is the double choice, right? So here we have the impulse double choice to remove ads, where basically it's 3-day trial and lifetime, but also Pinouts, a game that's kind of scaling right now in the hybrid casual genre. Essentially, users are faced with a choice where they can either remove ads for $5.99 for 7 days, on a subscription that renews every week, or $9.99 forever. And then basically this is utilized also by minigames, Screwjam, all these other games that are kind of scaling on the ultra-casual, hybrid casual side, right? So what's actually happening here is a very famous psychological phenomenon that's been utilized forever, but basically if you give a user 2 different price points, essentially what happens is the higher price point gets anchored. So if you also provide a lower value price, that makes it look even cheaper. So, yeah, and then the perceived value of that thing increases. So this is also from another game called, I think it's Statistem, and they started to utilize this as well. And this is actually for Abby Games, this is actually their main and best-selling IAP in this game. So moving on to the third way how app companies are kind of driving innovation, and that is essentially they're also doing something called bundling. Bundling has been around in mobile gaming forever. So how this is done a bit different in different publishers and different developers. How it's being done in Word Connect, which is one of the biggest word games in the world, is that they bundle the remove ads and remove intrusive ads segment of the ads for higher value IAP purchases. So they're trying to drive users to not make the $6.99 purchase, but to make the $12.99 purchase, because they're also bundling it with, oh, if you buy it, then essentially you remove all intrusive ads. Also, what's happening on Raid Rush, which is an interesting company from Turkey, is that any IAP purchases that you make is also bundled in with the removing interstitial ads. Also, you can see here, Tricky Twist, new game that just came out a couple months ago. They're doing exactly the same. If you buy one of these, you also get remove banners, you get 10 hints. Anyway, this is not really new. This has been kind of done for quite a long time, where you bundle in removing ads like this. But yeah, essentially I talked about this, but essentially let me show you what's happening right now by taking a look at Habby. So Habby is probably the best and biggest hybrid casual company right now on the market. And this is what they're doing for Capybara Go and Archero 2. So they're taking bundling to an even step further, which means that if you buy the lifetime ad free card, they're also bundling that with increasing the amount of soft currency that you're given every day. So basically what they're doing is if you're playing this game a lot and it has a good retention profile, that means you'll progress quicker if you also remove the ads, and will reward you across your whole lifetime by not only removing ads, but also increasing the amount of soft currency you get from the game every day. So, how to use ads to drive IAPs and subscriptions? Easy. 1, push notifications after the first intrusive ads are shown. 2, present double price choices to remove the ads. And 3rd, bundle the ad choices with other items. So this QR code right here is basically goes to my newsletter. I write about a lot of these things because I'm a bit of a nerd, but I love this kind of stuff. Sign up if you want. I don't know how much time we have, but I'll love to take some questions if anyone has any.
Any questions? We can probably take one question or Question 1.
Yes, thanks. I'm from 52 Entertainment. Hi, and thanks for your speech. For games as simple as an hyper-casual game, what type of conversion rate are you looking at or aiming at for such a tool like a no-ad pop-up?
It's a bit hard, right? So it depends on the game. So Abby games, they make 50K a month on Sadistem, selling this like remove ads IAP, but basically it should be viewed as like getting the first purchase, right? So we all know that the highest predictor of future purchases is previous purchases, right? So the hardest thing is to just get over that first hurdle, and that's basically what this is utilized for.
And another question, please. There was clear here. Yeah.
I can try to.
You have a good voice. Hey, man.
Soprano.
Yeah.
What's the best practice, for example, when you're removing ads, you're not only giving soft currency, you're giving some other items. Will players stop getting those items? Will they be incentivized? I'm paying for not watching ads. Yeah?
Yeah.
For watching rewarded videos, I can get soft currency, I can get some additional items. For example, in virtual.
Yeah.
What's the best practice for that?
So best practice is never remove the rewarded ads, right? Because essentially that's what keeps coming back. It has the highest eCPM and has highest conversion rates, right? So typically best practices is that you remove interstitials and banners, the intrusive ones, right? But the thing is, like, we all know that every app is different, every game is different, so you need to test it. Yeah, I worked with Hordes and Heroes. The #1 selling pack there was remove ads completely because it was such a good deal. So there's no uniform best practice, just test everything, right? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Felix. Thank
Cool.
you. Please give him a big round of applause. That was awesome.